Hi everyone, welcome to week 1 of DevOps Micro-Internship. Before we touch Linux, Git, AWS, Azure, Kubernetes, Terraform, CI/CD or any tool, we need to install something more important, the mindset that turn learning into habits. Tool change, platform change, hiring trends change, but the mindset that build a career that stays. So today I'm not here to hype you for week 1. I am here to help you build habits and standards that protect your next 10 years. So let's look into what we are going to covering today. How to think differently, principles over opinions. How to upgrade your identity, version 2.0 of yourself. How to dream big and stay grounded. How to set high standards, ethics, quality and what you can tolerate. How to build systems for productivity and better environment to support your learnings. How to protect your energy, mind state, health and measure everything that impact your personal and professional life. And then you will do the assignments that turn into this your personal operating system. This week and the entire program will feel you different from any typical training you have ever attended. You will hear few things that challenge your old beliefs. You will write assignments that require honesty and you will feel little uneasy, awkward and maybe little scared too. And trust me, all that is good at this stage. Awkwardness, easy and little bit fear is signal of you are getting out of your comfort zone and actually learning. If everything feels easy and familiar, you are not growing. Now let me be direct. If you do week 1 properly, rest of the internship become easier. If you skip week 1, you may still learn tool, but you won't build consistency, and without consistency, skills don't turn into outcomes. Before I teach you any system, I want you to know who the person behind it. Because mindset advice only matters if it comes from the real experience and real result. So before we go ahead, it's important for you to know who is teaching you, who is your mentor for the next few months, and why should you trust me. I am not going to ask for trust with slogan, I am going to earn it with proofs. I didn't come from the perfect background. I didn't have a straight road to success. I missed the opportunity I wanted. I faced setbacks earlier, and here is the truth. Those setbacks didn't break me, they trained me. Because failures force you to face reality, and reality is where growth begins. In earlier days, I didn't have even personal computer, so I used whatever I had, including a shared work computer, to upgrade my skills quietly, consistently, and every day. Not because I was special, because I had a routine. One habit helped me more than any courses: discipline, routine, consistency, and exercising daily. Somehow I built this from childhood, and later when life got harder, that routine became an unfair advantage for me. When your routine is stable, your emotions don't control your day. When your routine is unstable, your emotions control everything. Over time, those small habits compounded, skills compounded, confidence compounded, opportunities compounded. Today I run the Cloud Advisory, a Finland-based company, and I worked in real environment with architectural decisions that affect real systems, real budgets, and real people. Now let me tell you that is very personal and important. When I moved to Finland in 2018 and I started working with global team, I learned that nobody cares about your excuses. They cares about outcomes. They cares about clarity. They cares about reliability. And this kind of environment forced me an identity upgrade. And this is exactly what I want for you. Not motivation, but a real upgrade. Better communication, better consistency, better technical depth, better standard. Now here is the another piece most people missed. Credibility is built, not claimed. Even earlier in my career, I wrote what I was learning in my blogs, including notes explanation. Not to show off, but to build clarity for myself. Over time, that proof compounded into a public track record. Now I am author of 3 books, AWS certified trainer. I have YouTube channel, many Udemy courses, a real projects and real customer outcomes. So when someone evaluate me today, they don't have to believe my words. They can verify my work. And that's the principle I want you to adopt. Your background may be your starting point, but your habits and your proof decide your selling. That's also why this internship is designed the way it is. I can only teach you what I have lived and what I have seen work for people who succeeded long term. The people who win are not the smartest, they are most consistent. They are open minded, they are willing to be uncomfortable, they build proof. So, week 1 is not for motivation. Week 1 is for your system upgrade, your mindset shifting. And the assignments are your proof of work. Because this program is not built to collect students, this is built to create professionals. So when I say I went from a simple start to architecture level work in global environments, I'm not saying it to sound impressive, I'm saying it to show you a principle. Success is not a motivational course. Success is a system, and system can be built. Now that was not my life story, it was the evidence. Because the method I am about to teach you is the same method I used to build my career. Let's turn it into a simple operating system you can run every week. With that notes, let's start with the DevOps Micro-Internship Mindset Operating System. Think of week 1 as installing an operating system. Everything in your internship run into 4 pillars. First, long-term thinking for compounding. Second, identity upgrade, your 2.0 self. Third, standard, what you can tolerate. Fourth, system that you will build for productivity and environment. This is exactly how DevOps team scale. They don't rely on one-time action. They rely on standard, automation, and feedback loops. Your career is the same. If you rely on motivation, you will be unstable. If you build system, you will be reliable, and reliability is a superpower. Every operating system needs a core principle. In career, those core principle is compounding because results don't come from one big push. They come from small actions repeated long enough. With these notes, let's start with the first pillar of DMI, long-term thinking and how compounding wins. Most people don't fail because they are not smart. They fail because they want fast result, instant gratification. They start strong, they do 2 weeks of motivation, then life happens. They missed one day, then they miss 1 week, then they disappear. Career is not built by intensity. Career is built by consistency. If you want to build a serious DevOps career, think like long-term investor. Your learning compounds, your relationships compounds, your reputation compounds, and here is the rule. Don't judge your progress daily, judge it monthly and quarterly. Daily is too emotional. Daily I feel good, I feel bad. Monthly is I am actually moving. If you show up for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 1 year, you will beat that person who goes all in one for 2 weeks and then disappears. Here is a quick math picture to make this real. If you study 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that's 225 minutes a week, almost 4 hours. In a month, that's 16 hours. In 6 months, that's 100 hours. In 1 year, that's 200 hours of focused skill building. 200 hours is not motivation. 200 hours is competence. That's enough to become comfortable with Linux. Build multiple Git and CI/CD projects. Understand cloud fundamental deeply. Write real document and become employable for better roles if you also build proof. Most people are not missing talent. They are missing accumulated time on the skill. So when you feel like quitting, don't negotiate with your emotions. Go back to the math. Compounding is boring and that's why it works. Now connect this to DevOps. DevOps is all about continuous improvement, small changes, feedback loops, automation, versioning. Your life is same, small improvements, feedback loop, system and compounding. So stop asking, how do I get results in 30 days? Start asking, how do I build a process I can repeat for 3 years? Your big advantage is not intelligence. Your big advantage is time if you use it consistently. And here is the next step. Long-term thinkings give you time advantage. But to use that time well, you need the thinking advantage. That's pillar 2. Thinking differently. Principle over opinions. If you are here, you want to become an engineer or you are already on that path. But let me be clear. Engineering is not a job title. It's way of thinking. And real engineer mindset is rare. Because an engineer breaks problems down, ignores noise and finds the truth through reasoning and testing. So in this section, I'm going to help you build that mindset, engineering mindset, by learning how to think differently. Most people live by other people's rules. Rules from the family, rules from the society, rules from the friends, rules from the internet. The problem is not that rule exists. The problem is that people follow rules without understanding why. I am not asking you to disrespect anyone. I am asking you to stop outsourcing your thinking. Stop comparing yourself to others. Because the world is changing too fast for rigid rules. And you need principle that will still work when environment changes. Let me give you a few common other people rules many of us grew up with. Work hard and everything will work out. Obey authority. Get a stable job. Don't take risk. Your degree decide your future. Don't share your work publicly. Your company is responsible for your growth. Some of those are useful. Some of those are outdated. And some of those are incomplete. And here is the adult version of the lesson. A rule is only good as context it was made for. A strategy that works in 1995 may fail in 2026. A strategy that works for your cousin may fail for you. A strategy that works for one country may fail in another country. So the mindset you need is principles, not slogan. If you want to practice framework of thinking differently, read a book called Lateral Thinking by Edward de Bono. It's not motivation, it's a method for creating a new angle and breaking mental pattern. Now let's break this into 4 practical principles. Principle 1. Question authority with maturity. Authority is not always correct. Sometimes authority is just confident plus positions. So you don't blindly obey, you shouldn't blindly rebel. You should do something smarter. You ask better question. What problem is this rule trying to solve? Does it solve my problem? What evidence support it? What happens if I test a different approach? That's how engineers think. That's how architects think, and that's how serious professionals think. And here is the practical example in your DevOps career. People will tell you just collect certificates. Others will tell you certificates are useless. Both can be wrong if you don't apply context. A principle is better. Certificates can open door through resume, but project build competence and help you successfully complete the interview. So you build project first, then use certificate as a signal, not as substitute. Now once you stop blindly following authority, next step is tougher. You must learn to separate truth from noise. The next principle is objective truth versus cheap opinions. Everyone has opinions. Opinions are easy. Truth is expensive because it costs action. Objective truth is something that stays true even if nobody like it. For example, value of pi is 3.14 doesn't change because of anyone feeling. In your career, you will hear noise. DevOps is saturated. AWS is too hard. Without referral, you cannot get hired. Only people from top college succeeded. A lot of this opinion is not true. The only way to find truth is experimentation. Think like scientists. Hypothesis, experiment, result, and iterate. If you take action, you get data. If you avoid action, you get only a story. Here is the exact framework I want you to use. Choose one skill, for example, Linux basics, Git, or maybe Terraform. Define a small outcome. For example, I will build one small project and document it. Give yourself a time box, example 7 days. Measure the result. Improve in the next iteration. That's how you become unstoppable. Not by knowing, but by repeating the loop. Now here is the part where people know the truth, but they still don't do the work. The missing skill is not intelligence, it's patience. That's where our next principles help. Delay gratification, a real competitive edge. There is a famous idea often discussed in psychology. People who delay gratifications tends to do better over time. The detail and studies get debated. I am not here to make it religious, but principle is practical. The ability to work before reward is rare, and anything rare become valuable. In DevOps, delay gratification looks like write documentation even nobody clap. You build a portfolio before you ask for a job. You practice interviews before you need them. You learn fundamental before chasing signing tool. You learn Linux deeply before anything else. And that's why I keep saying, think long term. Now I will ask you a question and that will reveal your current mindset. And please think when I'm saying, if you have 100 euro, what will you do? Please pause for a moment and think around it. Maybe you buy something fancy today, or maybe put in fixed deposit and let it grow, or buy a book, a course, or mentorship that increase your earnings power. Well, fixed deposit gives you 2x over time, but education and skills can give you 10x, even 100x if you apply them. Same with the food. Junk food and sugary snacks feel good in the short term but damage your health in long term. Healthy food may not feel exciting today or even tasteless sometime, but your future body will benefit. The difference between average and exceptional is not intelligence, it's time preference. High performers choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. Again and again, they didn't listen to the comfort until it became habit. So delay gratification is not about self-control, it's about leadership. Because once you stop chasing comfort, you stop waiting for permissions. And when you stop waiting for permissions, one shift happen. You stop commenting on life, you start building. That's where our next principles comes in. Be the change, don't be commentator. Complaining is cheap, action is rare. It's easy to say, my manager is bad, my company is unfair, government is not doing right things, my parents are not rich, the education system is broken. Maybe all of that is true, but adult question is what you are doing to do about it. Mahatma Gandhi said once, be the change that you want to see in the world. Let me give you my own example. I believe education is the fundamental right. In my view, the foundation of education should be affordable and cost should increase mainly when there is the real service component involved. Through my Udemy courses, I train thousands of people at very low cost. I also made many courses free at different times, but I noticed something which all you must have experienced, but it's actually big factor. When price is zero, many people enroll and they don't commit. So I introduce a nominal fee, often with very discount, to filter for seriousness. For a structured program like DevOps Micro-Internship, where there is the significant service component, we also have to charge something to enroll only the serious and committed people. Maintain the quality of the program. Support through WhatsApp community, live session over Saturday, time and resources to keep system running. This fee is not for content alone, it's to support and structure. And I still believe people should not be forced to pay 500 to 600 euros for DevOps fundamental learning. This approach can help thousands of people and I am confident about that. So instead of blaming the system, I am building an alternative. This is thinking differently. And this is the mindset I want from you. Stop complaining systems, people, situation. Start building your own conditions. And if you are going to build solution, you must also build one more habit, how to respond when you fail. One more principle that will save your career, treat failure like engineer. In DevOps, when something breaks in production, matured team don't scream and blame. They do blameless post-mortem. What happened? Why did it happen? What is the root cause? What we will change so it doesn't repeat? Do the same in your life. If you miss an assignment, don't do drama. Don't say I'm lazy and give up. Do a post-mortem. What exactly happened? Be specific. What triggered it? Maybe you are tired, you had fatigue, or maybe you don't have any plan. Maybe you had the phone distraction, or maybe you have fear. What will I change? Should I start doing assignment earlier? Maybe a small task I will do first. Maybe I can put my phone away, or maybe I can find a accountability partner from the community. Failure becomes expensive only when you learn nothing from it. If you learn, failure is just data and data is power. So pillar 2 is how you think. Now pillar 3 is how you become. Because a better strategy without a strong identity still collapse under pressure. Next, identity upgrade, changing and transforming yourself into your 2.0 version. If you want a result you don't have, you must build habits you don't have it. Your current habit created your current life. So if you want a different life, you need different habits. And that means an identity upgrade. I call it version 2.0. I want to accept one sentence as fact. Your current version is not a version that can produce your dream outcome. That is not an insult. That is a roadmap. Success is not luck. It's identity plus action. It's not like someone is sitting on chair and deciding, okay, I will give success to this person. Success comes when you become the person who can hold it. handle it, and repeat it. So how you do, you become that person, you change. And change is uncomfortable. That's why most people don't change. They get attached to the current version of themselves and they protect it. Now question comes, change into what? You can upgrade. What you can upgrade towards? What are you upgrading towards? So let me ask you, who is your superhero? Is it a celebrity or an influencer? And I will tell you, none of them. Your future self is your real role model. Your superhero should be your future self. Every day you practice being that person. How that person speaks, how that person handle pressure, how that person learns, how that person treat people, how that person manage time, how that person show up when nobody is watching. This is why identity matter. Your behavior follow your identity. For example, who is my superhero? The Pravin Mishra, who is running the cloud advisory, making euro 100,000 revenue every month. That person, the CEO version of me, is my superhero. Every day I put effort into becoming that person. That's why I want you to do, create your future version and work towards it daily. You will change in that process, and that is your hardest path. Because identity drives behavior. If your identity is I am inconsistent, your behavior becomes inconsistent. If your identity becomes I am kind of person who finished when I start, your behavior change. Now the moment you start thinking like this, one fear comes up. Isn't this fake, or isn't it pretending? No, because identity is not fixed. Identity is flexible. Don't hold it too tightly. When you hold your identity too tightly, it becomes difficult to change. Your identity is something you built over time. I am this person. I have this name. I do this. I do that. But where did it all come from? It was built as you grow up. 5 years from now, you might be completely different person. And biologically, every cell in your body replaced itself over a period of 5 to 7 years. So if I compare myself today versus version of me 10 years ago, I don't look different. I didn't just look different, I think differently. And to become person who run 100,000 million business, I must become completely different person. I cannot let my current version prevent me from growing into my future self. Now here is the most people get confused. They don't upgrade internally, but they want everything around them to stay same. And that rarely works. Growth has social cost. The social cost of growth. When you change, some people around you will feel uncomfortable because they start losing the old you and they will try to pull you back. You will hear lines like, "You have changed. You are not the same person. You aren't like this before." Most people don't say, "Amazing, you evolved." They don't say that because they are not evolving themselves. Parents and mentors are usually more supportive because they want you to grow. But your old circle, friends, cousins, relatives, some of them feel uneasy, and that's okay. As you grow, you will make new friends, people who match your new standards. If you are not ready to pay that price, then don't desire success. Growth is never easy. It comes with growth pain, and you must be strong enough to endure them. Here is my version. If you are growing, you should change. If you train for the 6 month, you should change. If you study seriously, you should change. If you improve your health, you should change. If you build skill and confidence, you should change. Some people will support you, Some people will resist you, and again, that's okay. Now, because growth has a social cost, you need one protection layer: environment design. Not to isolate yourself, but to strengthen yourself. So, choose your environment carefully. A strong community does not pull you down, it pulls you up. You become the average of people you spend time with, not magically, but slowly. Their standards become your standard, their habits become normal. That's why DMI is designed as community. We share progress, we celebrate wins, we learn from each other, and we raise standards. There is a quote: there are no butterfly expert among caterpillars. If you are the caterpillar today and your future self is a butterfly, understand this. You cannot become butterfly by talking to other caterpillars. Transformation need a cocoon phase, a phase of focused learning and growth. And that phase can be lonely. That's why community matters. You need people who are transforming with you. And yes, as you change, your friend circle will also evolve. Now listen carefully. Your environment matters because your identity matters more. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they get attached to a static self-image. And this leads to the biggest trap of all: silent killer of your identity upgrade. People attach their identity to what they currently weak at. So don't attach identity to your weakness. Don't say like, I am not good at Linux, I don't understand networking, I'm not good at debugging, CI/CD is confusing, I will never get it. I hear that all the time. A student tell me, Pravin, I am weak in Linux. Can I still become DevOps engineer? And my answer is simple. Linux is not talent, Linux is a training. A real problem is not the skill, the real problem is that you are deeply attached to your old self. And that mindset is dangerous. Because once you start believing, I am not good at X, you can stop practicing X. And because you stop practicing, you never improve. And because you never improve, you never prove yourself right. And it's become self-fulfilling loop. Let me be very clear. There are real limitations in life. If someone has physically disabled, whether from birth or accident, I respect that deeply. Some things are genuinely hard for them. But here is what important. Even with limitations, I have seen people achieve extraordinary things. If someone can win with genuine obstacles, then you, with the working mind, working body, access to learning, have no excuse to lock yourself into the weak identity. Your mind is not fixed. Your capabilities are not fixed. Your communication can improve. Your technical depth can improve. Your writings can improve. Your confidence can improve. But only if you stop saying, this is who I am. So here is the upgraded mindset. Don't say, I am not good at Linux. Say, I am training Linux. Don't say, networking is not my thing. Say, I am learning networking step by step. Don't say, I cannot debug. Say, I am practicing debugging like a skill. Don't say, CI/CD is too confusing. Say, I am building CI/CD confidence with repetition. Because the moment you stop attaching identity to weakness, you become dangerous in a good way. And that is exactly what I want from you in DMI. Not a fixed identity, a growth identity. Once you upgrade your identity, you will improve faster. And when you improve faster, you will start seeing other people improvement too. So next mindset become critical: how you respond to other people's success. Now I want to talk you a mindset that decide whether you grow faster or stuck. How you react to other people's success. In every cohort, something interesting happens. In the beginning, everyone is equal. Then as we go by, some people start getting result. Someone finish assignments consistently. Someone build portfolio. Someone get interviews. Someone get a better job. And at that moment, two mindset appears. Mindset A, if it is possible for them, it is possible for me. And that mindset create inspiration, it create beliefs, it create energy. Whereas another mindset B, they say he got lucky, he cheated, they have connections, they are showing off. And that mindsets create negativity, and negativity silently kill your dreams. Here is the rule. If someone else's success make you bitter, you are training your brain to reject success. Because your brain learns success equals to negative emotion. So it will avoid the behavior that lead to success. Instead, train the opposite response. Celebrate success because it's proof possibility. This is point of the strong community. We don't pull each other down, we lift each other up. This is why I encourage you to share wins, not to show off, to prove what possible. Successful people don't just work differently, they hang out with successful people. That's not being selective, that's just choosing the right circle. And yes, sometime as you grow, your friend circle will change, not because you become successful, because your standards changed, your schedule changed, your priority changed. So don't feel guilty if you spend less time with negative and more time with people who are successful. One of the best decisions I made in my career was surrounding myself with the people who had higher standard than me. It was uncomfortable, but it forced me to raise my game. That what a mastermind is. A group where your comfort is challenged and growth become unavoidable. DMI is designed to function like this. A structural environment where you consistently reminded of what is possible, not by theory, by peers taking action. So remember, celebrate others, learn from others, and let best work win. If you do this, you become mentally strong because your ego stop getting in the way of your progress. So community give you speed. Once you celebrate others, you will ready for the next steps direction. That's pillar 4, dreaming big and build it with system. Dreaming big is not wishful thinking. Dreaming big is a direction. If your goal is small, your actions shrink to match it. You build a small box and then you stay in it. A big dream creates healthy tension, a gap between where you are and where you want to be. Dreams don't replace action, dreams guide action. Here is the grounded truth. Your attention filters reality. When you set a goal, you start noticing opportunity you ignored before. You notice pattern, people, resources, and openings. So the formula is dream big, plan small, execute daily. Here is how I want you to dream big without becoming unrealistic. Step 1. Define a North Star outcome. Example, I want to become a DevOps engineer who can design and run production system. Or I want to become a cloud consultant earning X euro per month. Or I want to build a company that impact thousands of careers. Step 2. Convert it into 12-month target. Yes, long-term thinking. What can I realistically build in 1 year? Step 3. Convert that into weekly habits. What you do every week that make that outcome more likely. If you can build weekly habits, your dream stop being fantasy. It's become unavoidable. Now my proof. When I wrote my first book, cloud computing with the AWS, it wasn't one magical day of inspiration. It was multiple years of writing, rewriting, editing, showing up when it was boring. The day I hold physical copy of my work, it feel special. But what made it real was rooting behind 2 years. That is compounding, and the same apply to you. Your dream job, your DevOps career, your consulting income, your portfolio, your confidence, all of it built in a small daily action. A big dream is useful but only if it changes your behavior. And behavior is controlled by standards. What you tolerate, what you allow, what you repeat. So let's talk about the standard. What you tolerate to become a successful person. Standards decide your future more than talent does. Your standards are the behavior you allow from yourself and from others. If you tolerate distraction, your career becomes distracted. If you tolerate unethical shortcuts, your reputations become fragile. If you tolerate low efforts, your standard become average. High standard is not arrogance. High standard are self-respect. Let me make it practical. So I'm going to tell you some standards, and please try to understand and follow it. Standard 1, quality. When you build high quality work, clean GitHub repo, good documentation, solid project, clear communication, you attract serious opportunity. When you build low quality work, you attract low quality feedback and low quality opportunity. This is not magic, this is signal and its reputation. Now standard 2, ethics. Cutting corners is the fastest way of destroying trust, and trust is the currency of your career. Cutting corner means cheating, copying assignments, faking project, copying resume, lying in interview. It might feel like shortcuts, but it become long-term tax on your confidence. Because deep inside you know you didn't earn it. And once you know that, self-doubt grow. So I will say this in very simple language. If you want long-term success, you need long-term ethics. Now let's talk about the standard 3, what you tolerate. This includes how people treat you and how you treat yourself. If you tolerate disrespect, it repeats. If you tolerate chaos, it grows. If you tolerate inconsistent effort, it becomes your identity. So you must define what is acceptable in your life. And that big standard I want you to hold in this. You do what you said you will do. That's integrity. So all these standards define the quality of your decision. System define whether those decisions actually happen on busy day. So now we shift from value to execution, productivity and environment. The art of productivity. As I said earlier, motivation is unreliable, perishable. You won't be able to self-motivate yourself. DMI is not for people who motivated themselves to learn. And as always, systems are reliable. And you know system is reliable. If you want high output, you need deep focus. So here is the rule 1. When you work, remove phone. Keep in flight mode. Put it in another room. Disable the notification. Multitasking is not a superpower. It is performance leak. Your brain pay a cost every time you switch tasks. If you keep switching, you get tired faster and you produce less. Here is the simple focus rule you can copy. First, choose one outcome for next 60 to 90 minutes. Example, finish week 1 document for the 2.0 self or complete a Terraform lab. Second, remove friction. Phone away, one browser tab, water ready, notification off. Third, work in timed sprint. When the time runs, you stop even if you are in flow. This train you to trust system and prevent burnout. Fourth, after the sprint, take 5 to 10 minutes break. Walk, stretch, breathe, not scrolling. Fifth, repeat. 2 good sprint a day is life changing. Now let me help you create some systems. System 1. Capture tasks, don't carry them in your head. Your mind is good for generating ideas, is terrible at storing them. So when something pops up in your head, reply to email, call to mom, study for interview, write it down in sticky notes or into your to-do list. Then work on this list at the fixed time. This idea comes straight from the book Getting Things Done by David Allen. Your mind is for creating, not for storing. System 2. Weekly review. Once a week, do 20 minutes review. What did I complete? What is the one most important things next week? What are the top 3 tasks that move my career forward? What will I remove to create focus? This is how professionals stay on track. System 3. Separate mode. Most people feel busy all the day, but they do not produce much. The reason is simple. They keep switching mental gears. Learning needs a beginner's mind. Creating needs confidence and flow. Admin work needs speed and decision. If you mix all 3 in the same day, your brain is consistently changing context and your output drops. So use simple rule. One day, one primary mode. Learning day equals to input, and that day you only study fundamental, do labs, read document, watch one focus tutorial, take notes. Creating day equals to output. Build project end to end, write documentation or readme, publish a small LinkedIn learning post or write blog and publish it. Admin day equals to maintenance. Write email, scheduling, meetings, payment, planning the next week and cleaning the backlog. Here is the key. Your career grows on creating day because creating produces proof and proof creates opportunity. So even if you are working full time, you can still apply this. Weekdays 60 to 90 minutes learning mode. Saturday creating mode, project plus documentation. Sunday 20 minutes admin mode, review plus plan. That's how you stay consistent without feeling overwhelmed. If you mixed everything, you feel busy but you produce later. If you separate modes, you produce real work. If you want to practice this mode, read the book Deep Work by Newport. This will change how you protect your attention, and attention is what creates average from excellent. Now system 4. Build discipline with routing. You don't need perfect routing, you need repeatable one. If your routine is wake up, moving your body, one focus block of work, then check messages, you will outperform most people. Because most people start their day by consuming WhatsApp, Instagram, email, news. They lose their attention before day starts. So you will design your environment because environment create behaviors. And one more thing, productivity isn't just time management, it's energy management. If your mental state is unstable, your system break. So let's talk about staying mentally strong. You can't do quality work when your mental state is constantly negative. Life will throw stress, deadlines, family pressures, rejections, financial pressure. You don't control everything that happens, but you can control your recovery. If your mental state is unstable, your system breaks, your routine breaks, your discipline breaks, your consistency breaks. So goal is to not always be happy. The goal is to get stable fast and return to baseline. Here is what I personally want you to do when your mind feels messy. Step 1. Find the reason. Ask to yourself, what am I feeling right now? Am I stressed, frustrated, low energy, loneliness? Once you know that, you can work on it. Step 2. Drop the load. Do a quick brain dropping. Write whatever is spinning in your head. Not to solve it, just to unload it. Because make your mind empty. Make your mind light. Step 3. Stabilize your body. Do any of the below to make you feel better. Do a small outside walk. Maybe 10 minutes of meditation. Stretch your body. Maybe light workout. Or you can even call your supportive friends who can understand you, who can listen you. And you can also listen the music that you have enjoyed in your childhood. Because childhood is the best part of your life. Your body leads your minds. If your body is settled, your mind follows. Now step 4, do one small wins. When your system is stable, don't attempt the hardest task. Do a small task that restore your confidence. Cleaning up the notes, finishing one section, fix one bug, write one paragraph, complete one lab steps. Small wins restart momentum. And remember, your mind is not separate from your body. If your body is tired, your discipline become weak. That's why deep health and food are not optional, they are part of your performance. So now let's talk about health, diets and energy. As I said, everything starts from your body. If your energy is unstable, your focus collapses. When your focus collapses, consistency collapses. That's how people lose momentum, not because they are lazy, because they are drained. So I'm not going to give you fancy health advice. I will give you simple rule that work for professional. First, sleep is your first upgrade. If you fix only one thing, fix your sleep. Bad sleep make everything harder. Learning, patience, emotions and willpowers. Aim for consistent sleep schedule even more than perfect hours, and this perfect hours depends body to body, and you must know your sleep hours well. Second, move your body daily. You don't need a gym to exercise, you need movement. A 20 to 30 minutes walk, basic workout at the home, stretching your body. These daily movements keep your brain sharper and your mood stable. Third, eat healthy food. Most people don't have motivation problem, they have energy crash problem. So keep it simple. Eat healthy food. Reduce ultra processed snacks. Reduce extra sugar. It gives you short energy, then crash. Drink water consistently. No ideology, no debate. Just ask yourself, what I ate today that can give you stable energy for the day, and that's it. Fourth, don't be extreme, be consistent. Consistency beats intensity here too. A good enough routine done for the 6 month beat a perfect plan done for the 6 days. And yes, if you have the health conditions, be responsible. Work with the doctor. Your goal is not to a perfect diet. Your goal is the stable energy, because energy is the foundation of everything else. So keep it simple, move daily, sleep seriously, eat most healthy foods, and that's all. And if you want to improve your health, skills or discipline, you need feedback loop. In DevOps, what get monitored get improved. Same in the life. So let's talk about measuring what matters. What you don't measure, you cannot improve. So measure your learning hours, your project outcome, your health basics, sleep, steps, workout, your finance, spending, saving, your time, where its actual goes. Measurement is not obsession, measurement is clarity, and this is where DMI become different. We don't just teach, we track. We build habits, we build a scoreboard, because what get measured get improved. And to make it simple, create your personal scoreboard for mentorship with 5 check box to track weekly. I want you to do that. So please create your personal scoreboard to track your internship progress weekly. What you can track? Ask yourself, did I submit assignment on time? Did I do at least 3 focused deep work sessions? Did I exercise at least 3 times? Did I publish or share one learning publicly, even a short post? Did I review my goals and standard ones? This takes 2 minutes a week, but it creates accountability. And yes, I will keep reminding you, we do the poll, we will review, because consistency is built with repeated attention. Measurement without action is just information. So now we convert everything into implementation. Now I will talk about the assignments for this week. These assignments are not homework, they are your operating system in written form for this internship. And before I give you assignment, I need to be clear one common misunderstanding about what this program can and cannot do. People ask me this all the time, Pravin, can I get job after this program? Can you guarantee placement? And I will be honest, I cannot do that. And if anyone is granting it, they are lying, because hiring doesn't work on my feeling. It works on your proof, your hard work, your output, your confidence, your interview. I do not know how many assignments you actually complete, how many projects you will build end to end, how consistent you will show up, how you communicate and perform in interview. So how I can guarantee on your behalf? And honestly, no one can do that for you. So in DMI, we don't chase shortcuts. We build proof of capability step by step with projects, documentation, consistency, and a visible track records. Then you don't need anyone to guarantee for you. Your work is big. Well, now let's move to the assignments. Because listening is not transformation, writing is the beginning, and action is the proof. This week you will work on DMI Mindset Operating Systems assignment like this. What you believe is true that most people disagree with you. What's objective truth have you discovered through the result, through the experimentation? I want you to write down your 2.0 version like generalist, so you know who you will be after 3 years, after 5 years. I want you to set a standard, what you will no longer tolerate. You should build your ethics. You should not cheat. You will stand on your own. Build a system, a brain dump, weekly routing, and focused blog. Choose 10 non-fiction books for this and next year. Decide what you will measure regularly. So this is going to be your assignments. And one more important thing. We will come back to these assignments again and again during this internship. This is not one-time homework. This is your mindset operating system. We will keep updating it. Well, now let me close this whole session with one truth. This program will not change your life by itself. You will change your life. My job is to show you the path, raise your standard, and hold you accountable with a structure. Your job is to show up, even when it's boring, even when nobody is watching you, even when progress feels slow, because that's how compounding works. And compounding always wins. Alright, welcome again to DevOps Micro-Internship, DMI. And before we close, I want to acknowledge something. What you have heard from last 1 hours, I didn't build this alone. My parents, my family, my wife, my son, my teachers, my mentors, people who guided me, shaped me technically, physically, financially, and mentally. Whatever I'm sharing with you is combination of their lessons and my years of practice. Now I am passing it forward to you. So here is the deal. Don't watch this video once. Come back when your discipline drops. Come back when you feel lost. This is not week 1 content. This is mindset you build for years. Watch it, write it down, read it, build it, reflect it, and repeat it. And trust me, it will change your whole career, even personal and professional life. Thank you. See you in the assignment.